Hello, I'm Mrs. Barron and I'm a teacher of upper strings at Doncaster Music Service. Today you're going to hear about some of the instruments in the string family of the orchestra, and they are the violin, the viola, the cello and the double bass. Although these instruments play a huge part in the orchestra, you can find them in lots of different styles of music. For example, a violin, or a fiddle as it's often called, can be found in folk music, and a double bass in jazz music. A lot of the music that you hear in films or in your favourite TV programmes, even on your electronic games, use a lot of these stringed instruments also. Hopefully, when you've heard about all these fabulous instruments, you will have the opportunity at your school to learn them too. So we're going to start with the smallest of the stringed instruments, and that's the violin. The violin, just like the viola, the cello and the double bass, has 4 strings. But these are the shortest and the thinnest of the string family, and so therefore it can play some of the highest notes. We play our violin on our shoulder because it is nice and small. There are 2 main ways of playing. The first one is by plucking the strings with your finger like this. And we can also change notes by putting our fingers on and off on the fingerboard and moving up and down as we go. The second and the main way of playing, and the one I prefer, is with the bow. We can make beautiful tunes like this one that you might recognise. So I'm now going to hand over to Miss Pinder, who's going to tell you a little bit about the viola.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Barron. I'm Miss Pinder and I'm here to introduce the viola. Now, as you can see, the viola looks very much like the violin. It's still made of wood, got 4 strings, and you play it under your chin like you do with the violin. But the main difference is that it's a little bit bigger than the violin, and the strings, we've got a lower string as well. So you heard all that beautiful high music that Mrs. Barron played. This is how low the viola can go. Now, you would normally find violas in a big symphony orchestra. They sit right in the middle of the room in the orchestra, which is a great place to sit because you can hear all the sounds around you, the woodwind, the brass and all the other strings, lots of noise where you sit. But what kind of music can you play on a viola? You can play any music on a viola. Here is some music that I'm going to use my fingers to play. This is called pizzicato, and this is from a piece by Grieg. But we can also play lots more funky stuff as well. So let's finish with some Disney. And there is the viola for you. Choose to play this one, it's the best.
Thank you, Miss Pinder, for telling us all about the viola. We're now going to hand over to Mr. Dixon, who's going to tell you a little bit about the cello and the double bass.
Like the violin, there's 2 ways to play the cello. You can play it pizzicato with your fingers, and you can also play it with the bow. See if you recognise this tune. Did you get it? That was a whole new world from Aladdin. So that was the cello, and now over to the double bass. As you can see, it's the largest of the string instruments, and it's also the lowest. This is my lowest note. So it really goes quite low. Like the other instruments, you can play it pizzicato, plucked with your fingers, or with the bow. See if you recognise this. Of course, that's the theme from Jaws. So that's the double bass.